Welcome once again to Breakfast Central. Now, in a bid to enhance transparency in traffic management, the Lagos State government has deployed additional 500 traffic management solution devices to personnel of the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, LASTMA, across the state.
According to the general manager of LASTMA, Bolaji Oreagba, that the present administration by Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has brought lots of modern technological innovations to address transport challenges of the state, of which the body cameras, one for accurate traffic management, among many other benefits. To speak more on this new move and the operation of LASTMA is the Director of Public Affairs and Enlightenment, LASTMA, Adebayo Taufik. He joins us virtually from Lagos, Nigeria. Good morning and thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good morning, and good morning, Lagosian.
All right. And let's talk about these new devices. Talk to us about these new devices. There have been conversations as to traffic cameras being purchased. Is this true? If yes, can you give us a broader picture as to what that entails?
You see, this new devices is called traffic management solution cameras. It is being introduced as a result of serious yarning by monitoring public. That LASTMA is doing this, LASTMA is doing that, and that there is no transparency in the activities of some of this LASTMA on the road. So the government thought wise to introduce this traffic management solution devices. It is a camera form, and it is an handy machine. It is unlike the body one. This one is not a body one. It is handheld. It's something that you hold, very, very portable. It's just like your mobile phone. Of course, people term it to be a kind of a POS machine, but of course, it's not a POS machine. It is an handy camera. Of course, it looks like one, but it is not. So this camera tends to bring out voluntary compliance among monitoring public, and also bring about safety. It brings about transparency, and it equally brings about a situation whereby it will create a kind of a distance. There won't be a kind of a physical contact within LASTMA officials and some of these motoring public who have violated this traffic, who has caused traffic infractions on our road. So the government thought, well, this camera, once you have it captured on this camera by LASTMA official, they capture you from distance whenever you commit any traffic infraction, and it recorded your vehicle, your plate number. It equally gets the time, the actual time that you committed this infraction, the date, and the location at which you committed this infraction. Automatically, this camera immediately got you recorded, you send it down to the database of the Lagos State government, where the registration of that particular vehicle is being located. And from there, they will extract your number and you receive a notification on your phone. This notification comes with a link under your phone. Then immediately you open it, just tap on the link, then a video will come up. On this video, there is an arrow on the video. Once you tap on this arrow, it will automatically play what you have done. I mean, the traffic infraction you had committed. It will play your video to you. You also yourself will see the video. You will see the video and you will see the location, the kind of a traffic infraction you had caused. And the government never stopped at this. The government deemed it failed that, okay, fine. You have two buttons under this particular video. One says how to effect payment. The other one says challenge. The government believed that you might say you have one or two reasons why you had committed this such traffic infractions. Then once you click on this challenge, that means you want to challenge the video. Then it will take you to an open window where you are expected to type the reason why you believe that the vehicle is not your own, or you have not committed it, or these are the reasons why you have done what you've committed before you got recorded. So you get it submitted, and in a few minutes you will receive a notification again informing you to appear before the Lagos State mobile court. This very camera.
Yeah, I was going to say, I hope that we're going to be talking about, we'll talk further about enforcement, at some point. But, does this mean that LASTMA officials, no longer have any reason whatsoever to get physical or to physically apprehend road users? Are we going to see a complete stop to LASTMA officials and LASTMA staff, stopping road users who have seemingly broken any traffic laws on the road? We see them, having issues with bus drivers and fighting with bus drivers. Is this going to be the end of it?
Yeah, that is where the government is taking the enforcement to. That is what the government is taking it to. The government introduced the TMS camera. It's not punitive. It's just for corrective. It tends to create a kind of a voluntary compliance from monitoring public. And this kind of a camera is what is being used all over the world. So what we are talking about is it will reduce that for now, but automatically the end result of the using of this camera is to totally eradicate a kind of a physical conversation or altercation between the LASTMA officials or traffic managers on the road with motoring public. That is the end result of this very particular camera. So we are seizing this opportunity to employ motorists to at least please let them comply with the Lagos State Transport Sector Reform Law of 2018 by not picking or dropping passengers or friends. The reason why we mention friends, it has to do with the private car owners. So that you don't just say you park by the roadside, you decided to pick a friend or you drop a friend. It is illegal, it is wrong. It is contrary to the traffic regulation law. So we are appealing to members of, if you want to do that, you do that as a designated bus stop. And don't leave your car by the roadside because unnecessary obstruction to other road users. Don't park on the walkway, don't park on setback, obey the yellow mark lane at every intersection. You are not authorized to default the traffic light and always obey traffic manager. Don't fly BRT corridor, and automatically everybody know that driving against traffic, which is timed to be one way, it is not allowed in Lagos State and not allowed. I don't think it is not allowed everywhere, any part of the world. So these are our appealing to the public. Once you are captured by this camera, LASTMA doesn't have any authority on this camera anymore. Once you are captured, it's sent down to the database direct. So in order for you not to be caught unaware, please, we employ people to always drive cautiously and obey the traffic rule on the road.
All right. Let's also talk about you. I mean, you mentioned that people shouldn't park just anywhere. They shouldn't drop friends off. There have been people who say that even when they drop passengers at bus stops, particularly someone gave an example of, a colleague gave an example of dropping someone at the Iyanoworo bus stop and still being arrested. So what happens in situations like that? Also, conversations about one way, no U-turn, we don't have enough. I particularly find that I have seen a situation where somebody was arrested for following a place that was supposed to be, I mean, it was supposed to be, they weren't supposed to have make a U-turn there, but there was no sign that says no U-turn there.
You see, ordinarily, let me start from the private car owner you said that dropped a passenger and was arrested at Iyanoworo. You see, even at the level of the bus stop that the government created, it's not as if you just park at anywhere at the bus stop and say you want to drop. You follow the directions of the traffic officer. Like that particular Iyanoworo, all these people they are talking, saying that they stop at bus stop. They did not enter the bus stop. That is what we are saying. You are not allowed to stop by the side of the bus stop. No, you must enter the bus stop to drop this your friends or your passengers. Once you say this is a bus stop and you're sat by the roadside of the bus stop and saying that you are the bus stop, you are not. You must enter the bus stop because the provision of this bus stop is meant for you to enter, drop whoever you want to drop, either your friend or your passenger, then you move off. So some of these people always raise this kind of a flimsy excuses and be saying that they were at the Iyanoworo bus stop and LASTMA officer apprehended them or police apprehended them or other traffic agency apprehended them. They have forgotten the fact that they did not enter that main bus stop and it was created for them to enter and drop whoever they wanted to drop.
Yeah. There's also, speculations. I'm sure you can just quickly respond to this. Speculations that, LASTMA officials collect bribe. They are maybe even giving targets every day that they need to meet up with, or maybe every week to meet up with. And so it makes people have very little trust, every time that the LASTMA official is accusing a person of committing a traffic offense. How do you think you can rid the system of corruption? How do you think you can rid LASTMA itself of any form of corruption? I understand the use of technology and what it would also do to help, but these 500 that have been added is definitely not enough. I'm sure that, not every LASTMA official currently has these cameras. So let's talk about corruption within the system. Are these things true? And how are you fighting the corruption within the system?
That is what the government is driving at, as I said earlier. This 500 you said is not enough. Of course, it's not enough, but I must tell you, before the end of this month, another 500 or 1,000 will be added to that camera. the end result of the camera is about 3,500 for LASTMA official, but it's being introduced in a gradual steps. So automatically, this camera tends to remove this element of corruption that you did mention. I cannot vouch to tell you that you don't have a kind of a bad element, just very, very little percentage of bad element among LASTMA. But the government is trying all its best to make sure that we eradicate or remove the activities of these few bad elements. Like, for example, at the agency for now, the general manager, Mr. Bola Ragba, has introduced what we call the surveillance and monitoring unit. And we have the provost unit as well, likewise the discipline unit. Like what this monitoring and surveillance and monitoring, what they do on a daily basis, they were divided into 5 divisions of the state. They move around monitoring activities of these LASTMA officials. Their own is not to arrest, or their own is not to enforce traffic law. Their own is to make sure that LASTMA officials being posted at their various stroke points do exactly what they were trained to do on the road. And in view of this, 1 or 2 LASTMA officers have been apprehended for all this kind of allegations that you are talking about. And the government have set up a lot of machinery. Don't forget the fact that LASTMA officials, they are civil servants. And civil servants' conduct is being guided by the public service rule. So there are processes. In this kind of a process, some of the people that we had arrested or caught in this kind of an unethical act, some of them have been demoted, some of them have been dismissed, and some of them have some of them have been suspended by the agency. We are not saying that we don't have, but don't forget the fact that this element exists in every facet of life. It's not only in LASTMA. And all these things combined together, that is the reason why the government is coming up with this kind of machine technology. So that automatically, because if you are caught with this TMS camera, LASTMA cannot do anything on it anymore. That is where we are driving up to. I'm not saying that we don't have bad elements, we have it, but they are very, very little percentage. And don't forget the fact again that we have some bad miscreants. We have some people, only few people outside the world, impersonating to be LASTMA official, putting on LASTMA yellow top and that maroon trousers, even with the name on the chest of with their name body written on the shirt they put on.
Yeah, but so how then do we identify a legit LASTMA official and a fake one?
That is where I'm going. Whenever any LASTMA officer accosted you, his or her name must be boldly written on the chest of the shirt he or she is putting on. Then if he's putting on the cardigan, he must have his name boldly written. And again, if any LASTMA officer accosted you and even impounded your vehicle for any traffic infraction and requested for money from you, automatically he's not a LASTMA official. He's one of those people that we are looking out for. So
but those the allegations that we've heard and the ones that we've also experienced do not say so. I wouldn't want. I don't know if you would then say that the fake LASTMA officials are spread across the whole Lagos, and do the legitimate LASTMA officials, can they spot a fake one and apprehend him?
No, all of us are working together to get these people off the street. Like the very one I told you that we apprehended along a bridge at Aja just early this year. After confessing, he said they were like 15 operating at different parts of Lagos. That he was at Ijora the previous day before we got him arrested. He confesses at the level of the Lagos State Mobile Court. So this surveillance and monitoring unit, that is what they do on a daily basis. They move around, monitor LASTMA activities, and this very particular guy we are talking about now, he was caught in the act, collecting money directly from a commercial bus and a private vehicle that drove one way. And he confessed that he's making nothing less than 70 to 80,000 on a daily basis. And he was jailed. I'm talking to you, he's at Kirikiri now for 6-month imprisonment. So we have them like that outside. And it's not only even in LASTMA. In other security, other uniform personnel, you have a lot of these fake officers impersonating their name, all about trying to, like just yesterday. Okay.
Yeah, just so we can wrap up because we're out of time. I also want you to speak on is it Korokbe, they call them Korofe or Korokbe, those white buses. They're very annoying. My personal experience, they're very annoying. But I want you to speak on, how many of those buses are fully registered and how many of them will LASTMA be stopping? Because I'm sure that I'm not the only one who sees that those people don't stop for traffic lights at all. They don't bother themselves. Once they get to a red light, they drive past it and, continue with their journey. So is LASTMA also going to be, issuing these same, messages to these people who do not have proper phones or do not have proper registration on their vehicles Or is this mostly for private, vehicles?
And in addition to that, for the LASTMA officials that are caught breaking the law as well.
You said, I don't understand what you mean by people driving a vehicle without proper registration of their distance. I don't understand what you meant by that, but if I have to tell you, government is taking steps to even address this kind of a thing that you are talking about, because you still, apart from the TMS camera that you have with LASTMA, you have another camera being installed beside every traffic intersection across the state. You understand what I'm saying? This capture is called automated machine. It captures a vehicle registration where a vehicle that is registered. Like if you have your plate number, this camera captures you. If your paper is about to expire, you will receive a message from the MVA informing you that at so time your vehicle paper will be expired. And once it got expired and you move by this camera, you'll be captured and you will receive a message directly on your phone as well. So I don't quite understand the word that you have some vehicles that are not registered. Of course, if you just brought in a new Tokumbo vehicle into the state, you have a limited time at which you could have it registered. If not, you'll be apprehended by police.
All right, sir. We've run out of time for this conversation, but in 20 seconds, maybe, can you please tell us what will be done to LASTMA officials who are caught breaking the law? Because time and again, we've seen some of them driving one way. We've seen them driving cars without plate numbers or doing the things that they would typically arrest other people for.
Hello. We have informed the members of the public. LASTMA officials are not allowed to use chloroquine during operation. We are informed, and the general manager is very, very frank at this. Even at the level of the permanent secretary at the Lagosian Ministry of Transportation, they've raised a kind of a very frank attitude towards this kind of attitude. And of course, we on our own, this surveillance and monitoring department has apprehended one or two using this illegal means of carrying out enforcement. Are you getting what I'm saying? But of course, we cannot. Okay.
Thank you so much for bringing this update, and congratulations to LASTMA. We do hope to see.
I want to tell members of the public, in case you have an information or there's an area where you feel that you want the presence of the LASTMA official, or you have a complaint, we have an hotline. You can reach the LASTMA management on 081 00 56 5860. 081 00 56 5860. Then there's another one, 081 299 28 080 081 299 28 299 28 503. 081. Thank you very much.
081 299 28 513, you said?
No, 503. 503. That is what we have.
Thank you very much. I'm sure these lines will come in very handy. Thank you very much for joining us this morning and clarifying these conversations with us.